Our next speaker is a security architect in Guardicore, Mr. Marc Lainez. With more than 15 years of experience, he handles the APAC region. Prior to this role, Mr. Lainez held various technical and leadership positions in some of the top global cybersecurity companies with portfolios ranging from endpoint, network, data center, and cloud security. He also holds notable industry certifications such as CISSP, GCIH, and CCISO.
When firewalls were first established, they were game changers that provided perimeter security and control for simpler IT environments. Today, perimeter-only security isn't enough. As technology has evolved and the threat landscape has expanded, legacy firewalls remain tied to specific environments and networks. Regardless of the walls you build around your data center, threats will get through, which means segmentation is more important than ever. Guardicore was built to make segmentation simple, affordable, and fast, allowing you to achieve a higher level of security with no downtime. We start with your existing network and then apply a software-defined overlay that is easy to visualize and change and works consistently across all types of environments and technologies. Here's how we solve major segmentation challenges. We provide context-rich visibility into application dependencies and traffic, on-prem, in the cloud, platform as a service, and more under one single pane of glass. This visibility allows you to easily identify segments, group views, identify dependencies between applications, and plan your segmentation fast without errors, based on real data and not assumptions. We provide one infrastructure-agnostic tool to manage your policy across all your environments. A single policy that is applied anywhere, on-prem and in the cloud. There is no need to change the network. So virtual local area networks, private cloud networks, and assets require no changes. There is less need for cross-team dependencies and coordination as no infrastructure changes are needed. There's no downtime, preventing the need for businesses to work during off hours, enabling you to progress the project faster and with no risk to the business. Our solution is flexible and ready to take on current and future environments. And our REST API and automation recipes allow for integration into DevOps and automation frameworks to ensure continuous, robust policies. While firewalls can continue to protect your perimeter, Guardicore can give you total coverage and greater security of your east-west traffic in your data centers. Transform your operations to the next stage of firewall protection.
Hi, everyone. In this session, join me as we revisit your firewall strategy. And along the way, you'll get to know more about us, Guardicore, and how we are disrupting the old segmentation approach. I'll share also some guidance on what to look for a segmentation solution. In closing, I'll give you a cool action item that can help you develop a strong business case for such initiative. My name is Marc Lainez. I'm a security architect for APAC in Guardicore. Let's get started. This is the snapshot of our cyber world today. Ransomware made a comeback, and unfortunately even stronger with higher demands. Technology supply chain attacks recently have exposed everyone from an implicit and seemingly unavoidable risk that our business needs third-party services and connectivities one way or another. And obviously, it just got fueled by the pandemic, where organizations need to open up and shift their focus to remote work setups. However, when talking to security teams, it is quite alarming, but not surprising to be honest, that more than 60% of organizations say that their firewalls are not effective in stopping ransomware. Likewise, they're not effective in restricting and monitoring lateral internal traffic, which can be around 80 to 90% of your overall traffic volume. The numbers are not encouraging. However, if there is something positive we can get out of this, is that cybersecurity leaders from both public and private organizations globally are calling out to take new measures more seriously and with urgency. The White House, for example, in the height of ransomware attacks in US, recently urged all corporate and business leaders to take some actions to better stop, contain, and recover from ransomware attacks. One of the recommended steps is to segment your network, because by doing so, you can effectively analyze suspicious lateral movements and, in the worst case scenario, be able to prevent a high impact breach by creating a smaller blast radius. Locally, in the Philippines, we have our very own Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas have called out the same few years back, coming up with a set of enhanced guidelines on information security management. Again, highlighting the importance of granular environment segmentation and tighter identity-based access controls. You can also check our Data Privacy Act implementation guidelines on data protection and data center. And yes, it does mention segmentation, which is also a recommended key capability. Enter Guardicore. So who we are again, and how we are solving the persisting problems that we just described. Well, we are founded in Israel back in 2013, and we have a mission to provide the simplest and most intuitive solution to protect your critical assets through zero trust segmentation. We have a great vision and culture, and have received many recognitions for being one of the best cybersecurity company to work for. We are heavily invested in growing our technology ecosystem to bring the most value out of our solution. We have headquarters in Tel Aviv, Israel, Boston, USA, and now actively expanding in APAC. We have close to 300 customers globally from various industries, as you can see below: financial, commercial, telcos, healthcare, and many more. But the best part is the solid foundation from our customers. The validation that we get from them, who gave us an excellent net promoter score of 71, way above the average of 50 among tech companies. Like I said, we offer a new approach that is to rethink the role of firewalls in your enterprise security strategy. First, let's talk about the old approach. We believe that network firewalls have become the necessary evil in modern IT by effectively becoming a choke point, which simply means every traffic that you want to be inspected, which is all, by the way, needs to find its way to the firewall through clever switching and routing. To summarize the shortcomings of this old approach, network-based firewalls will always be tied to specific environments and infrastructure of the network. Because of that, working with security policies takes too much time and effort, because you have to deal with all validations and approvals needed from many different teams involved. And to do microsegmentation, you need different and unorthodox approaches for different environments and technologies. For example, VLANs for bare metals, security groups for cloud, and pods, namespaces for containers and DevOps world. Now, imagine if you could replace this with a much simpler and dynamic approach. One that uses a distributed, software-based approach to get visibility on the applications down to the process level. With that, securities will follow the workloads wherever they go. Today, on-premise, tomorrow, cloud, simply following the workloads wherever they go. And to do microsegmentation, it uses labels to give your applications much needed business context and agility. Now let me share some of the segmentation requirements we hear from our customers. One of the most common use case is environment segmentation, as you can see here. Typical from a customer who have very flat network and they want to create smaller zones inside the network. They want to separate production, development, UAT zones with some other zones that are not supposed to talk with. This is very coarse or broad level of segmentation, but it is required by the regulatory bodies, and it's very hard to pull off with VLANs and similar techniques. Next, we see customers that want to ring fence a few of their critical applications, usually in production environments. Those ring fences can be as small as 5 servers and as big as few hundreds. This is how digital crown jewels protection looks like logically. We help easily identify those application dependencies, suggest a rule set, and enforce it without caring where the application resides today or will reside tomorrow. You can logically group by application types. For example, one set of servers are all part of billing system or CRM or e-commerce websites. You can also logically group by roles or tiers. For example, the classic load balancer to web server, allow. Web server to database, allow. But load balancer to database, block. A variation of ring fencing is microsegmentation. This is when you include process level policies. To build on my example, and please follow, you can say the Nginx process with hash 1234 on my web server can only talk to the MongoDB process with hash value ABCD in my database. That's a pretty powerful use case for truly critical mission applications. Yet another common use case we see is when customers want to make sure that specific users get access to specific servers over specific ports while other users don't. They want a policy based on identities of the accessing users, be it internal users directly accessing the servers that they own, or third-party external users, contractors, accessing from a Jumpbox servers. We help them achieve that easily by having the capability to integrate into Active Directory and other user directory systems. These are just some of the major use cases. There are many more, but here's a good place to pause and see if any of those use cases rang a bell and represent some of the things that you have been wanting to do next. Our solution is Guardicore Centra, and on a high level, it is composed of few key elements starting from the management console down below. It is available in both SaaS and self-hosted version for customers who want it to be on-premise. Our solution is software-based. Thus, we require most of the time an agent to be installed on each and every workloads that you want to be segmented and protected. There are other components such as aggregators for scaling agents and collectors for enabling agentless approach when truly needed. We are committed to provide a segmentation platform for any organization that has a critical asset to protect. So we try our best to support all current and even legacy operating systems that you might have in your environment, from Windows, Linux, Solaris, AIX, HPUX, and even the AS400s of the world. Not to mention, we have tight integrations with many enterprise orchestrators and automation tools in private and public cloud ecosystems. Visibility may be one of the most overused and over-marketed buzzword in our cybersecurity world, but I won't shy away from it simply because it is really the foundation of granular network segmentation. Before you can achieve the clean and sleek look on the right side here, make sure you know what to look for in a segmentation solution. It must be capable of giving you the following at the very least. Number one, rich details with layer 7 application and process level granularity with intuitive visual mapping capability, both in real-time and historical data. Number two, flexible and intelligent labeling that is reflective of your organizational structure, language, and naming convention, allowing you to easily filter and logically group your assets by anything. Number three and last, look for a solution that allows you to enforce both positive and negative security models, also known as allow listing and blacklisting without any restrictions. As a key takeaway, you can realize many business benefits from a software-based segmentation approach. You can prevent high-impact breaches by limiting and shutting down suspicious and malicious lateral traffic movements very quickly, such as ransomware and sophisticated APT attacks. You can easily identify your critical assets wherever they are, at the same time, understand their state, data flows, and application dependencies, providing you the business context needed for granular and accurate policy enforcement. You can reduce the cost associated from time and effort-consuming compliance mandates. A software overlay approach can achieve application ring fencing, regardless what is the workload, form factor, and where it is located. It can be tied to a user directory for granular identity-based access control. Another benefit is more secure and simpler cloud migrations. Controlling data flows in an infrastructure-agnostic manner gives you more confidence, knowing policies can follow everywhere. Lastly, a software-based segmentation unleashes your ability to innovate faster and freely with any technologies and environment of your choosing. As long as you can install our agent, you're good to go. All in all, segmentation being a very basic yet foundational security measure, if done properly, will not only enable your business today, but will also prepare your business for the next explosion of software-driven world. As promised, we can help you get started with segmentation tools. I want you to meet Infection Monkey, inspired by Chaos Monkey from Netflix, if you have heard about it. Monkey was developed and maintained by Guardicore as an open source breach and attack simulation platform that can help you validate your existing controls by safely simulating how attackers might exploit your internal network security gaps. You can download it for free. Again, I repeat, free, and conduct your own automated ransomware readiness test, zero trust assessment. Or you can go a little crazy but creative with its wide catalog of attack simulation techniques. It comes with an incredible report, perfect for your segmentation business use case justification. All right, final reminder. We developed Monkey with enterprise organizations in mind. So we are confident that it is safe for production use. However, just make sure your management knows about it and you have the permission to release the Monkey. That's it. Thank you for your time, and please do reach out to us if you would like to know more about Guardicore Centra and how to achieve zero trust segmentation.